Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. So excited to be here with you all today. Comment below where you're tuning in from. I know we have people from all over the world in this group, and so comment below where you're tuning in from. I'm here in sunny Arizona, and it is a broiler over here at this point in the summertime. So, how is the weather in your area? And let us know what fun you're having this summer. If you're going to the beach or somewhere cool, I would love to hear about it. So, comment below and let us know. Um, let's see here. So, if you're new to the group, of course, I'm Amanda. I'm a Fast Like a Girl certified coach by Dr. Mindy Pelz. I'll be your guide in this webinar to help you get your energy and libido back and help you feel amazing and help you reach your health goals. Does that sound good? So before we get started today, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. If you're new here, I'll tell you how I came to fasting. So, back in June of 2022, I was looking to lose my baby weight that I had been carrying around for 3 years. Comment below if you have carried around some extra baby weight for years. Like me, I didn't lose it right away. And so June of 2022, my youngest was 3 years old. I was like, "I've gotta lose this baby weight. This is a little bit ridiculous." I was not feeling attractive anymore to my husband, and I just wanted to, you know, be back to the weight that I was when we got married, because I feel like it was a pretty healthy weight, so that was a good goal for me. And so I had set this goal that I wanted to lose 30 pounds and get back to my pre-married size, right? When we got married. So I started the fasting lifestyle because I had some friends that were actually doing fasting and they were looking amazing. They were losing weight. They were more just they were looking amazing. I just can't even explain it. And so I wanted that. So I went to them and I said, "What are you doing? You're looking amazing." And they told me they were fasting. And so I started fasting too, but I was doing it willy-nilly. I did not know about Dr. Mindy then. And so I was just doing one meal a day, fasting like a man, doing 16-8, 18-6, just being really flippant about it. I didn't know there was like a way to do it. I was just doing it. Okay. So I lost 20 pounds pretty quickly, but then things started to change, like I said, because I didn't know about not fasting before my cycle started. I didn't know anything like that. So what ended up happening is I started getting some really bad side effects. I started losing my hair, and I have a lot to lose. So at first I wasn't like super concerned. But then when it kept happening, I was like, okay, something's really going on. I am losing a lot of hair at this point. And so, I was also having extreme mood swings. Like, I was so irritable. I would be like, happy one minute and then just like losing my mind the next. And so the mood swings were just crazy. And then the breaking point was I started crying for like 3 weeks straight. No reason whatsoever. I live a very blessed life. I am married to an amazing man. And he provides very well for our family. I have two little cute boys. So there's no reason for me to be like depressed for 3 weeks straight. So I was bawling my eyes out for like 3 weeks straight. No reason. Like I just didn't feel good. I don't know what my problem was. So it finally dawned on me. I'm like, I think I'm doing this fasting thing wrong. And so I just stopped fasting. But I was really discouraged because I hadn't met what my weight loss goal yet. So basically, and then the other thing that happened is my migraines were getting worse because I was like over 40. And I don't know if you're a migrainer like I am, they keep getting worse and worse as you age. And perimenopause, like, put them in overdrive for some reason because my hormones, were fluctuating all over the place. And so my migraines were actually getting worse. And I'd had debilitating migraines for more than a decade already, but these were like several days in a row, taking me out. And when you're trying to run a business, you're trying to run a household. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I homeschool. Like it just got to a point where it was miserable. It was so miserable. So I finally found out about hydrogen water and I started drinking hydrogen water in August of 2023. And I noticed a difference in my energy the first day. I noticed more mental clarity the first day. Like it was pretty incredible that first day. And I hadn't slept very much the night before. So when I thought I would be wanting to take a nap because I didn't get very much sleep the night before, I was actually really energized and really focused. And that's really surprised me. And then another cool thing that happened was a week later, the pain down my hip and down my side completely disappeared. And I thought, that's so weird. The pain had been there for months, which now looking back and after doing some research, that was like a perimenopause symptom. So if you're having, pain down your hip and down your leg, that could be a perimenopause thing going on with your fluctuating hormones and all that. So I was really surprised that that just disappeared just like that. And then the most amazing thing that happened is my migraines almost completely stopped in that first month. I hardly get them anymore. The amazing thing was that I noticed a decrease in the migraines that I was having, and the ones that I were having, they were not debilitating for several days, like the ones that I was having. So I was like totally mind blown. I was like praising the Lord. I was like, this is amazing, because I had never, ever, ever had something that helped me as much. And you can imagine, over 10 years of having migraines, I've changed a lot. I've done a lot of things in my lifestyle, with eating and drinking and all this kind of stuff, getting clean water and, allergy treatments. I mean, like, you name it, I tried it. And so the hydrating water was the most amazing thing that helped me like that. And so highly recommend it. But then I started to want to lose weight again, and finish, meeting my goal of that 30 pounds. I still had, probably 8 pounds to go at that point, because I did lose a couple when I started drinking the hydrogen water, which was nice. It helped me get over that plateau. And so I found out about, Fast Like a Girl in October 2023. I finally finished reading the book, and I was just mind blown with all of the health benefits along with the weight loss. I was just totally mind blown. And so I started following the protocols. And by January of that 2024, I met my weight loss goal. And now I have, kept that for, a year and a half. I'm still, maintaining that weight loss. And it's just by following these protocols. Now, I do put my own spin on it, and that's what I share in my program, how I do this to fit my lifestyle. And I teach you how to do it for yourself too. So that's a little bit about my story. Like, I was so excited to have these results for myself that when Dr. Mindy rolled out her certification course, I knew I had to be one of her coaches, because I was already telling everybody who would listen about this fasting lifestyle. I was so excited about it. So I was so excited to become one of her coaches. And so let's talk about, now that you know a little bit about me, let's look at our overview, what we're talking about today. So we're going to talk about why you may have lost your libido. We're going to talk about why this is a major, major problem. Okay. We're going to talk about what the Bible says about it. And we're going to talk about why it's important to fix this immediately. I mean, you've got to get on this right away. And we're going to talk about how to fix it. Okay. So I'm going to show you some really disturbing news today about this, but I'm also going to give you lots of hope. So hang in there. Okay. So let me share with you why I am qualified to talk about this. All right. So first of all, I'm a woman over 40. I've already experienced this low libido with my hormone fluctuations, being in, perimenopause, early perimenopause, and life experience just speaks volumes, my friends. And so I can speak to this from experience. Also, I'm obviously a certified Fast Like a Girl coach. I've been trained in the hormones and women's health, how this happens. I'm also a Christian, so I know what the Bible teaches around this topic and how wives are, to be with their spouse and this kind of thing. And I want your marriage to be the best that it can possibly be. So I'm very passionate about talking about this. I know it's kind of a taboo topic, but the Bible commands that the aged or older women teach the younger women. And younger could be, in age, of course, but it could also be that the woman is just younger in a certain area that she is not knowledgeable about. It could be in, wisdom, or it could be in spirituality, that she's just not as, aged or, knowledgeable in certain areas. So my job is to basically teach women, these principles, from the Bible, also teach principles around health. So while I can't advise you on raising children to adulthood yet, or even teenagers, I can't really speak to any of that yet. My kids are still very young. I am an older woman. So being 45, I have experienced hormones quite a bit in my 45 years. So I can teach you good things about health, I can teach you good things about being happily married, being a mom in general. So I'm an older woman who's experienced and researched this topic. So my mission and my passion is to help women get their life back, take their health back. I want to save marriages. You know, ultimately, we're saving families by doing this because I'm going to show you some really disturbing statistics. This can affect your family if you haven't realized this yet. And so I really want to basically help you in this way and encourage you and teach you some Christian values along the way. I don't know if you've noticed or if you feel it in yourself, but women are really in trouble right now. And I am here to lift you up. I'm here to encourage you. And I'm really excited about today. So I hope you are too. And if you're in a rough place right now, I want you to know that I'm here for you. Okay. So is everybody ready? Ready? Comment below a heart. Drop a heart in the comments if you are ready. I'm just going to see what's going on in Facebook. Hey, Dawn. Hey, hey. Bianca, hello. Heather, hi. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining today. I'm so glad that you're all here. Okay, so let's do a real quick review just in case you're brand new to the group and you haven't watched the part one, because I did actually do an introduction video about this topic a couple of weeks ago. So in part one, I asked this question: what do you think is causing this lack of interest in the bedroom for you? Um, you know, are you just feeling tired? Are you feeling bloated? You know, you're just not feeling sexy. Like, what's going on? You're just not feeling yourself. You know, maybe you and your spouse are just having trouble right now. Maybe you're just not getting along very well. So that can obviously cause a problem too. Maybe you've been doing all the right things, you know, to feel better and lose weight, you know, watching your calories, trying different workouts, cutting carbs, but nothing seems to be working. All the old tricks aren't working anymore. And if that's you, I really want you to know something important. You are not broken. Your body and your mind is just screaming for a reset right now. Okay. So drop your answer in the comments below if you feel comfortable, no judgment. What do you think is the problem? What do you think is going on? You know, with your low energy or, you know, low interest in libido. Let's talk about it. Okay. So if you can't quite put your finger on the cause of the problem, like the root issue, because that happened to me too, it kind of came as a surprise to me that I wasn't interested because, yeah, I love that. It's so good for us, right? Oxytocin and everything. So when that started happening to me, I was caught a little bit off guard and I was like, what the heck is going on? I couldn't quite put my finger on it. So these are some common reasons why you may be experiencing low libido. So stress could be an issue, relationship issues, hormonal changes, obviously, especially postpartum or over 40. Those are two big times where there's some major hormonal changes and shifts going on, right? It could be metabolic issues. So I don't know if you realize this, but your metabolic health, basically, your health depends on your metabolic health. So if that goes down, like it's going to trickle down and it is going to cause havoc on all of your other hormones and your health in general if your metabolic health is not good. Okay. It affects everything. It really does. So it could be that. It could be mental health concerns like depression, anxiety. If you have medical conditions that make it uncomfortable for you, it could be certain medications that basically make you not feel good or cause other problems. They have other embarrassing side effects, maybe, and that may be putting a damper on it, or just past experiences. So there could be so many reasons for using the low libido. Okay. But hormonal changes is a big one. Metabolic issues is a big one. Stress is a big one. Having relationship issues, obviously, if you're not getting along very well, you don't really want to get close to that person you're not getting along with. So I totally get it. But let's work on that. Let's see what we can do. Okay. So let's look at some more bad news first, though. Let's look at some disturbing statistics around health in general and in women's health, because I really want to let you know what direction you're headed if you don't fix this. Okay. I want you to really understand that this is so important for your health. Okay. So here are some stirring statistics. Only 7% of Americans have good cardiometabolic health. Cancer and immune issues are all tied to this issue. 60% of Americans have one chronic disease, and 40% have two or more. 800 million people worldwide are obese. Obesity actually kills more people than smoking. And 41% of women over 21 are obese. This is sad. Our young women, our young ladies are suffering too. 45% of women have high blood pressure. 1 out of 5 will develop Alzheimer's. Okay. This is so scary. This is not good. 1 out of 8 women will develop a thyroid problem. 56% of women going through menopause will develop a thyroid issue. 1 out of 9 women have type 2 diabetes. 1 out of 5 women can't get pregnant after trying for an entire year. This is so sad. This is heartbreaking. 80% of autoimmune is happening to women. Hashimoto's, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, also PCOS is a big one. Women 45 to 55 years old is the most common age for women to commit suicide. This is heartbreaking. This is sad. This hormonal shift is causing big problems, okay, when it's not taken care of. Women suffer from more mental health issues like mood swings and anxiety than men. And women file for divorce in perimenopause, okay? Share in the comments what you think about these stats. This is pretty wild and depressing, right? This is really depressing. These last 3 statistics are the most heartbreaking for me, and they're my why in wanting to help women. We are not in a good place right now, and we need change. And like I said, I'm here to lift you up. I'm here to help you. If this is where you're at right now, know that I am here for you. Okay. So let's talk about some of the symptoms that you might be experiencing other than the low energy and low libido. So these are all indications that it's time for a reset. So if you are experiencing bloating, headaches, low energy, hot flashes, night sweats, irritability, weight gain, brain fog, frequent urination, trouble sleeping, neuropathy, infertility, PCOS, insulin resistance, low libido, of course. All of these are indicators that you need a metabolic reset, and your body is not working as efficiently as it should. Um, if you're not feeling so good, you're probably not feeling sexy, and you probably are not in the mood, right? And so, but the good news is that I'm here to help you reset this and get back on track. So put in the comments what you are experiencing with any of these symptoms or issues. Let me just check. Yeah. Yeah, it is shocking, Dawn. Absolutely. It's just wild. Okay, so these are 2 key things that can make it harder for you and to feel and look your best and lose weight if that's your goal too are hormonal imbalances and metabolic inflexibility. So let's talk about these. In insulin resistance, which makes it hard to burn fat. High cortisol and stress keep your body in survival mode. Obviously, cortisol puts that fat right in your belly, ladies. So we want to keep that cortisol and stress under control. And, estrogen dominance, can lead to weight gain and mood swings. So we got to really pay attention to that and do what we can to be detoxing and getting rid of the extra estrogen every month. Otherwise, it's going to get stored in our fat too. Thyroid dysfunction may slow down your metabolism. And the metabolic inflexibility is basically, your body is struggling to switch in between fat burner and sugar burner for fuel. And this can be caused by, too much dieting, too much fasting, calorie restriction. It could be over exercising, which stresses the body. It could be not eating enough healthy fats and protein. A poor gut microbiome affects digestion and hormones. Toxins, like I was just talking about, stored in the fat cells, making it harder to lose weight. But the good news is I can help you work through all of this and help your body to rebalance again, even with this going on. So I know this was like really, depressing, and it sounds pretty bleak, right? But I want you to know that there's so much hope for you, my friends. And I want to help you address the lifestyle issues first that can be contributing to all of the symptoms that you are feeling. Because once you go get on medications, all medications have side effects, okay? I don't care what it is, it's going to have some side effect on your body. It's going to cause oxidative stress in the body. And so you want to basically watch out for that. So anything that we could do, lifestyle first, is going to be really helpful for you. And even like I said, the medications have side effects, and some of them can even make the problem worse. Okay. They may help you in one area, but they're going to create another problem and they're going to make this other problem worse for you. So let's, address what changes that we can do. I want to empower you to make changes in your own health that will help you feel better and get your energy and libido back. Okay. So let's set the stage for feeling your best. All right. So obviously, we need to remove or reduce processed foods as much as possible from your diet. Okay. Dr. Mindy recommends obviously removing breads, pastas, sugars, all of that, but at least the processed foods, they have got to go. All of If you're not reading the ingredient label to see what's in there, you need to start doing that. Okay, so it's best to eat whole foods, all right, and remove or reduce the other processed foods as much as possible. You'll want to incorporate fasting, right? You're in the Fast Like a Girl group for women support. And so I'm sure you've heard of fasting before if you're in this group. So you want to basically incorporate that according to your hormones. All right. And obviously, you want to eat foods that support your hormones too. We're going to talk more about that. In a couple of minutes here. You'll want to limit your food intake to meal times only. Don't be snacking all day. It's so bad for your blood sugar to be just spiking it all day. Open your detox pathways. This is something else I teach in my program. You'll want to limit your hormone disrupting products because a lot of things that we use, are makeup ladies, cleaning products, all kinds of beauty care products, even our shampoos, deodorants, all of that. You have to really make sure that you're not using products that actually disrupt your hormones and make this situation worse. You'll want to also get proper hydration with clean filtered water. Okay. So these are some other things that you can do as you're learning the fasting lifestyle and ways that you can overcome hunger and fatigue. So proper hydration is really important. It's so important to have clean filtered water. It's an essential. It is, quantity and quality both matter. And so it's really important to get clean water. You should drink half of your body weight in ounces daily. The tap water has a lot of chemicals in it. I don't know if you have done any research on the tap water in your area, but if you're drinking tap water, you need to research this out and you need to get some filters. Bottled water is not that great either, guys, because of all the microplastics in the water. It basically, you know, um, obesogens are everywhere. Bottled water is another place for them. And our body does not know what to do with obesogens. And so it stores them in our fat cells around our vital organs. Our body's amazing. God really made our bodies amazing so that it would just store, those toxins in the fat so we can stay alive, right? And so, but we want to reduce that as much as possible. So the solution is actually to get a home filtration system. If you need recommendations, I can help you with that. Hydrogen water is another amazing way to help you overcome hunger and fatigue. It helps to regulate the ghrelin and the leptin hormones so you don't feel hungry. It's been amazing. It'll help you fast longer. Like I said in the beginning, it helps with so many other things. It reduces oxidative stress and inflammation in the body, which means that you'll feel more energized, more clear-headed. Salts are really important. Okay, Himalayan salt, Celtic salt, real salt are all great for helping you hydrate, as well as it's just good for you. The Bible says salt is good, right? I don't care what your doctor says. The Bible says salt is good, and the Bible is always right. So electrolytes are also incredibly important, especially in the fasting lifestyle and extended fasts. Okay, so you'll want to definitely check into that. I've got recommendations if you need help with that. Healthy fats such as coconut oil, fat bombs, olive oil, avocados, and even avocado oil are all great to help you feel fuller longer. Fat is also essential for helping you feel happy. If you are not getting enough fat in your diet, you may feel depressed, anxious, or even have problems with infertility if you are not getting enough fat in your diet. Listen, I had a friend years ago. She would not eat fat. She thought fat made you fat, and it's not true. She was scared to get fat. She was skinny as a rail, anyways, but I think she had some eating issues. But she thought fat made you fat. And so she would not eat fat, and she cried all the time because she wanted to get pregnant. And we told her, and she was anxious. This girl, she was always anxious about everything. She could not feel confident in anything. She was very scared. She was very scared all the time. And I told her, I was like, "What are you eating?" I just asked her. This is like long before I'm a coach because I've been passionate about health for a long time. So I asked her, I said, "What are you eating?" And I asked her, "Are you getting fat? Are you eating enough fat?" She's like, "Oh, I don't eat fat." And I was like, "You have got to eat some fat. You need to eat some butter. You need to get some coconut oil." Like it will make a huge difference. And lo and behold, she started eating fat finally. Enough of us talked to her about it and convinced her. She finally stopped being so depressed and anxious all the time, and she had a baby. She got pregnant. She's had several babies since then. And so please get healthy fats. That is the thing. Okay? That is like the main thing that you need to focus on is make sure it's healthy. You definitely want to get, the seed oils out and the canola and the vegetable oil. All of that is horrible. Yes, get rid of that. But the healthy fats, like I was saying, like coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil, bacon fat, bacon grease, save that. It's free. Use that to cook in and it flavors your food. It's amazing, right? Just make sure your bacon is uncured, right? Make sure your bacon is quality. So proper nutrition is important because if you are just eating processed carbs that spike your sugar all day, you will keep getting hungry every 2 to 3 hours. It'll make it extremely hard to fast. Whereas if you eat a more rounded diet with protein, fat, and fiber in each meal, you will be satiated throughout the day and you will not feel the need for snacking. It may take you a while to get to this point. Don't worry, just start small and be patient with yourself. Okay. So get yourself moving. This is also another great way to help you curb your appetite and release endorphins that are commonly referred to as the feel good hormones, right? So doing things that help your body release oxytocin is also amazing, right? Oxytocin is at the top of the hormonal hierarchy, like Dr. Mindy teaches, remember? So if you can get more oxytocin in there, it's going to help you balance all of your other hormones, of course, and help you feel better in the moment. So get out, get moving, and also get hugs from your family, friends, have a meaningful conversation with a friend. Get a massage, a chiropractic adjustment, something. This may be just the distraction you need to help you be able to fast longer. Okay, so staying busy is one of the best tools that you can use for overcoming hunger. So keep yourself busy, do some extra housework, do work on that hobby, call a loved one that you haven't talked to in a while and catch up, or just go for a walk for some fresh air. And if you are brand new to fasting and you haven't heard about the fasted snack yet, comment below fasted snack and I can put some information for you, tag you in a couple of posts that talk about it. There are specific things that you can have in your fasting window that will not break your fast. There's a lot of research on it by Dr. Walter Longo. He has his clients do, these fasted snack type things during the chemo treatments that they have to go through while they're doing a 3-day water fast, and they still get the stem cells when they follow specific rules for this. So, don't let the strict fasters, blow you out of the water. There is scientific research showing that you can have a fasted snack if you play by the rules. So comment below if you need to know more about fasted snacks, and we will talk about that. Okay. So those are some tips there. Let's talk about improving your relationship with your spouse. Okay. The Bible says, nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself, and the wife see that she reverence her husband. Okay. So the first thing that I want to say is the best thing that you could do for your husband is to reverence him, show him respect. Don't be disrespectful to him. Don't be making fun of him in front of people. do your best to be very kind to him and be respectful. Men, the husband is supposed to be, the leader. And so when you treat him as such, he is going to love you so much more. Okay. So reverence your husband. I know sometimes it can be really hard, ladies. Sometimes I really have to bite my tongue and I have to pray a lot, but I encourage you to do the same thing, because when you reverence your husband, when you show him reverence, no matter what, he is going to be more generous to you. He is going to be more loving towards you, and he's going to find you more attractive. So if you're feeling like, oh, I'm so unattractive right now, I'm feeling so fat, I'm feeling so this or that, show your husband some respect, be reverent towards him, show love to him, treat him differently, be good to him, and you will see that man change towards you and he will find you more attractive. Okay. I know that's not popular in 2025, and I don't care. I'm happily married. So, but I will tell you that it is not always easy. There are times when I do disagree with my husband, but when I snap at him, I automatically notice that change in him, that he's disappointed. You know what I mean? And I will feel like such a jerk because I have a great husband, you guys, ladies. My husband is really amazing. He provides really well for our family. Like I said before, I don't have a care in this world. But I don't always agree with the things that, we don't always agree. We're different people, right? So, but I know that when I am, keeping my mouth shut when I disagree, or making it to where I'm not nagging at him and I'm more respectful, and I just pray instead of nagging, I pray instead of snapping back or something like that, it makes a huge difference in your marriage. And so I highly, highly recommend being reverent toward your husband. Please do not be disrespectful toward your husband. It makes the situation worse. Okay. So that is like my biggest tip for you, is just be as respectful as you can to your spouse. Obviously, communication is key to a happy marriage. Your husband cannot read your mind. Okay. They're not mind readers. And so you have to talk to him, and their brain doesn't work like ours, ladies. And so just talk to your husband about, different things, just have conversations, daily conversations with them are even great too. It doesn't even have to be anything important. Just have conversation and communication with your spouse. Let your husband know your needs. If there's something specific that you need or want, whether it be, just life in general, something, just have open communication with your spouse. Obviously, men have a very strong sexual desire, and they marry to fulfill that. Okay. So please take care of your husband's needs. If you reverence and take care of your husband's needs, he will do anything in the world for you pretty much. Okay. I'm sure of it. So just do those things and it will help your marriage so much, far beyond anything. Try it. You don't believe me? Just try it. Okay. Try it for a couple weeks, a month, and see how it goes. He might not believe you at first. You'd be like, what's going on with my wife? She's actually being respectful to me. What's going on? So it might take him some time to adjust to your new way of behavior towards him, but give it a try. You have nothing to lose. You only have going up from here. Okay. So let's also talk about, talk to your husband about your cycle. I know this may sound really silly, but talk to your spouse about your cycle if you don't already. I didn't really do this for the first 8 out of 10 years that I've been married. I just kept it kind of quiet, kept it to myself. And but there came a point where I actually did have to talk to my husband about this, because it did come to a point where I myself had low libido, and I didn't want my husband to think that it was about him, that I wasn't really in the mood. And so I'll give it up anyways, ladies, even if I'm not in the mood. But it's odd for me not to be in the mood and for me to have to be with my husband. And so I wanted him to know, hey, I'm not, as excited right now because of this or that. But I'm still going to take care of you anyways. It's good to take care of your husband anyways, and let him know, hey, my hormones are fluctuating right now, and I don't know what's going on with me. I'm happy to take care of you anyways, but let's just take care of you right now, because I'm good. I'm cool. Whatever. I know that's kind of weird and taboo to say and talk about, but I really want you to know that it helped my marriage a lot when I just came right out and told my husband, this is the truth of the matter. It's not you. I love you to pieces. I'm still attracted to you. I don't know what's going on with me. My hormones are wacky. So when I did this while I was in that phase of low libido, it really helped me and gave me time to figure out what the heck was going on with my low libido so I could fix it. It kept our communication strong and really helped me. And then my husband was also able to support me because he understood what I was going through. And so I told him, at times there may have to be a little bit more effort on your part. These are some things that, can help or whatever. And so he was able to accommodate. Okay. And he understood. And so he wasn't taking it personal and it helped so much. So have a conversation with your husband about your cycle, about your hormones, about what's going on. So that way he can help you work through this and he doesn't take it personal because if he takes it personal, it could cause problems in your marriage and you don't want that. So if it seems too awkward or strange to have this conversation with your husband, or anytime you're having a hard time with your husband and you don't know how to talk about something that's hard for you, just send him an email. Just send your husband an email. Just get that conversation going that way. That's what I do when things are really awkward. And I want to make sure that I am, basically hitting all the points that I want to say. And the emotion is not running high at the time I'm sending the email. So we're not getting into this, unnecessary discussion about certain other things that have nothing to do with the topic that we're talking about. It really helped me a lot to just send him an email. So if this is a topic that you are not comfortable talking to your husband about, just send him an email. And then that way it'll get the conversation going and make it less awkward for you when he does come to you to talk to you about it, okay? And that has helped me so many times because like I said, there have been times where I've disagreed with my husband on certain things or I needed help with certain things and I was scared, kind of scared to talk to him about it. So I just sent him an email and it really helped. So if you have to do that, then you got to do what you got to do. So let's talk about these hormones. Okay. So our hormones, I don't know if you realize but they fluctuate throughout a 30-day time. Okay. And over here, you'll see is your day one. Okay. All the way here. Okay. So day one of your cycle, if you're new to all of this cycle talk, ladies, day one is the first day of bleed. So that's the day that you start bleeding. That's when your period actually starts. Okay. And basically, your hormones fluctuate throughout the month. So the first part of the month, when you start to bleed, you're actually what's going to be called in your power phase. So you may those first couple of days, if you haven't been minding your hormones prior to that, then you could have a rough period. But in my program and in Dr. Mindy's book, we teach you how to deal with your hormones. And so that when you actually do start your period, it's not that bad. It's not rough. You're not on the couch all week or anything. And so basically your progesterone is coming in, you've got estrogen going. And then basically what happens after you stop bleeding is you go into what's called a manifestation phase where all of your hormones come in at that time, estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, they're all meeting up and it's a big party. And that's the time of the month where you feel the most powerful. You can do a lot of your planning and executing things. You're really sharp in your mind. You've got the testosterone there, so you're actually more likely to want, that intimacy with your spouse during that time. And you're, more that actually recommended that you lift weights during that time because, it's very good, that you have that testosterone there to help you. You're actually very strong during that time of the month. So right in here is basically where you're going to be in the ovulation and manifestation phase. Okay. And then basically the third phase of the cycle is basically when you're in your second power phase. And so your hormones at this time during the power phases, your hormones actually really like to have a lower insulin for the most part. And so Dr. Mindy teaches in her book about the ketobiotic way of eating, where it's more like a lower carb style of eating, but not quite super keto. Okay. It's ketobiotic, so a little bit more carbs, definitely the three P's, which basically help your gut microbiome. So it's a lot of probiotics and, foods and things like that that nourish your gut that are, recommended during that time. And then basically after this third phase, which is your second power phase, you go into what's called your nurture phase. So during this phase, about a week to 10 days before your period starts again, this is your hormone feasting time. So during this time, your hormones actually like you to eat more sweet potato type foods, higher carb foods during this time, and you're not going to be fasting during this time. So it's okay if your insulin goes a little bit higher because you're not actually trying to fast. So when you're in your power phases and you're fasting, the ketobiotic actually helps you be able to fast because your glucose is down. You know, you have a lower insulin, so it's easier to get into ketosis and that kind of thing. But when you're in your hormone feasting phase, in your nurture phase, that is the time where it's actually a really great thing for your hormones to get a little bit more insulin because they thrive at that. You'll also want to take it easy during that last part of your cycle right before you start your period again, because progesterone actually goes shy when your cortisol is high. So if you're really stressed out, you're not taking it easy, you're burning the candle at both ends, you are really going to struggle when your period actually comes. So before your cycle comes, that week before, no fasting, a little bit higher carb intake, take it easy, do walking instead of pushing, weights and doing HIIT training and all that. Switch it up to like walking. Um, Pilates is really good, different things like that that you can do to still get movement, but you're not really super pushing yourself at this time of the month. So you want to really take it easy. So also during this time, you're not really going to be interested as much. This is the most likely time of your cycle where you're going to have a lower libido. So you can let your husband know, hey, I'm in this part of my cycle where it's kind of like hit or miss right now. So a little bit more effort might be needed during this time. And so if you talk to your husband about this, like I said, he's going to be more than willing to accommodate your needs because he has his own needs. It's for his best interest that he helps you through this time, right? And is a little bit more accommodating to you. And so let me just check the chat here. Oh, hey, Catherine. Thanks for watching. Yeah, the bacon grease is so awesome. Hi, Carmen. Thank you for coming today. I'm so excited all you ladies are here. Okay, so let's talk about a biblical foundation for libido. Okay, so libido, we're not really in the mood, but the Bible teaches we got to give it up anyways. Okay, so that's basically the bottom line. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians 7:3-5, let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife hath not power over her own body, but the husband. And likewise also the husband hath not power over his own body, but the wife. Defraud ye not one other, except it be with consent for a time, that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. So what the Bible is teaching here is that if the husband's not in the mood, too bad. If you're in the mood, he's got to give it up, and vice versa. If you're not in the mood, you got to give it up anyways, ladies, because this will save your marriage. You're frauding your spouse if you're not intimate with your spouse. They married you for better or for worse, and this was something that you agreed to when you got married, is this relationship with your spouse. And so you've got to find a way to like get through this, because not only are you frauding your husband and setting yourself up for, infidelity going on, you're basically just in disobedience to God. I mean, this is a commandment from God, and so if you're a Christian or you care about what the Bible says, I know a lot of you ladies are maybe not Christian, but I know we do have a lot of Christian ladies in the group, and I'm a Christian. I want to share this with you because you may not realize this. You may not realize that, whoa, God actually has something to say about my sex life. Yeah, he does. He has a lot to say about it. So this is why it's so important to fix this problem, ladies. It's a really, really big problem that needs your immediate attention. So the Bible says here that we are to do good to our husband all the days of our life. So I know this is not always an easy task if you're having problems in your marriage, but in order for us to be right with God and have a good marriage, this is the goal. All right. So in Proverbs 31:10-12, it says, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. So we are commanded by God to be good to our husbands, no matter what. It doesn't give an out here or any excuses. If he's not keeping his end of the bargain, it doesn't matter. This is what God commands for us, that we will do good to him, our husband, all the days of our life, no matter what he's doing. So just be humble and take the first step. If you're having problems in your marriage, I'm really sorry to hear that, but you can fix it. There is hope for you. So I hope you're not getting mad right now. I hope that you are taking this information to heart and that you'll put it into practice, because I really do want to help you. And, I'm here for you. I really do care about you and your husband and your family, your children. I care about you. And I don't want you to go down the wrong path unnecessarily. This is a problem that you've got to fix. You've got to fix it. Okay. And so if we, in the next verse, it says in Proverbs 31:28-29, it says, her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. So, ladies, if we want praise from our children, if we want praise from our husband, we will need to carry ourselves in a virtuous way. So, there won't be any praise if we're running around like a crazed person, we're super irritable, we're snapping at people, we're being irreverent towards our husband, we're taking him for granted, we're snapping at him and being disrespectful to him, towards him in front of other people. We're shaming him. I mean, that is not going to happen. We are not going to get that praise. In fact, we're going to get just the opposite from him. He's going to make our life miserable. Okay. So just, we got to work on this. All right. We got to work on this, ladies. And so the practical tips to restore desire. I think this is where we left off. So sorry, ladies. I'm back. I hope you can see me here. All right. So the first thing that we can do is be sure that we are in communication with our spouse. And you also want to be a good listener too. So don't just be talking and not listening. Be a good listener, because he has, things that he wants to tell you also. But if you have a husband like mine, he is a little bit more reserved. I have to listen very carefully for him and his cues, because it's very interesting when sometimes they don't speak out. You have to watch them, you have to watch their body language and get to know your husband so that you can listen to him and know what his needs are. Okay, so but be in communication. Like I said, if it's a hard conversation, send that email, get that conversation going. We also want to share what gets you going. Okay, so I'm sure your husband will want to accommodate your needs in that area. So it's really, like I said before, in his best interest and in his benefit to accommodate what is going to spark your fire. Okay. So also share with your husband what kills the mood so that you can make a plan together. Something I do is I have my husband actually put the kids to bed, so that I have time to freshen up and relax and be ready to enjoy our time together in the right frame of mind. Because after a long day, I'm actually very overstimulated with my two wild boys, and putting them to bed is definitely a mood killer for sure. Comment below if that is a mood killer for you too. I hope I'm not the only one. Bad mom guilt right there. But I honestly, that's what I do. That's what I got to do. I just ask my husband when we're gonna be together, like, can you just have daddy duty and put the kids to bed? So I ask him to do, and he's happy to do that for me, because obviously I'm much happier with that time together. So just communicate that with your spouse clearly. Okay. So let's talk about the lifestyle changes. Like I said, they are in order, my friends. They are going to help you feel so much better. When you eat a balanced diet, when you get regular movement, your sleep quality is better, you're managing your stress. Check out your hormones at play. If you're postpartum, perimenopause, menopause, the impact is real there. Okay. The concern is real. It's common, but it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to stay that way. And, let's talk about date nights. Let's get those date nights going again, ladies. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be expensive, and it can be at home. Like, we don't really go on dates outside of the home a whole lot because we have little kids and we don't leave our kids with people. And so we basically do at-home date nights, or the kids are there. So basically on our date nights, one of my favorite things to do is actually have a massage night. We literally bought a massage table from Amazon, and and we light some non-toxic candles. I play some saxophone instrumental music that I like, and we enjoy our time together. It is a very nice romantic time together. So find something that works for you. Get your date nights going. Write sweet love notes. Send affectionate texts. Get him going on the text message before he gets home. Just to liven it up. And it's going to just make it fun. Just do things to actually spark that connection again with your spouse. So you want to also guard against temptation. Now, this is really important. This is like we talked about before with the Bible verses. We need to be accountable to one another. So prayer and accountability is going to prevent that emotional, drifting apart, that physical infidelity. Women do not have close male friendships. Men are very jealous. We belong to them. If we are married, we literally belong to our spouse. We should not be having close male friendships. We should not be doing that. Your husband may not admit it, but he does not like it. I'm going to tell you that right now. Men do not like that. And so if you have a close male that you're friends with and you're a married woman, you need to let that friendship not be close. Okay. You could still be friends and whatever, but don't be going out to lunch with your dude friends and you're married. That is not right. That is not right at all. You need to stop doing that. That is not good for your marriage. Okay. You go on dates with your husband. You go to lunch with your husband. You put that time and energy into your own husband, and your marriage will be so much better for that. Okay. So, and then obviously we want to emphasize God's design and intimacy within marriage. It's going to strengthen against that lure of adultery. Be together often, as many times as he needs it, give it to him, because it's going to keep him at home, with you. So let's talk about leading up to that, why it's important to fix this in your marriage, because low libido and strained intimacy can be a huge catalyst for adultery and divorce. And, I'm sorry, ladies, if you've already been down this road before, if this has happened to you, I am not condoning that behavior. Adultery is a sin. It's a horrible sin, and it causes so much hurt. But that's why I'm here. Ladies, that this has not happened to you, literally, I'm talking to you. I don't want this to happen to you. So that's why we're here. So like I said, low libido and strained intimacy, they can cause this to happen. I'm not saying it's right what he did, what he does. I'm not giving him permission to do that. The Bible does not give him permission to do that, obviously. So, but I'm just telling you, people are people, men are men. And it can happen. So you want to prevent this from happening. Like I said, not only is this, issue of addressing this about rekindling your passion together, but it's about protecting your marriage. It's about protecting your family, and, your long-term well-being. Believe it or not, increasing your intimacy is actually amazing for you, lady. Even though you're not really in the mood, intimacy actually increases our oxytocin. And like I was saying before earlier, Dr. Mindy also says oxytocin is at the top of the hormonal hierarchy. So you need the sex too. Whether you want to admit it or not, whether you're in the mood for it or not, it doesn't matter. Tell your husband you need the oxytocin, okay? And so that will help to balance all of your other hormones, ladies. And so this is so important. Please, let's do this together. Let me help you fix this so that you can have a happy, successful marriage. I don't want these horrible things happening to you. Okay. So, the real reason that you don't feel like yourself, you've been trying, you really have, you've counted calories, you've cut carbs, you've been following all the influencer workouts and just try to be more disciplined. But, despite your effort, you still feel tired the moment you wake up, no matter how early you go to bed, you're inflamed, you're bloated, even when you're not, even when you're eating healthy, you're still feeling bad. You're irritable, you're anxious, especially around, your cycle time or when life gets stressful. You're having out of control cravings, especially with sugar and snacks. You're eating for emotional comfort. Frustrated with your body, like it's betraying you and no longer cooperating. And you're feeling self-conscious about how you look, and you're feeling unattractive. Okay. And I've been there. I have totally been there, like I said, but we've got to do something about it. The worst part is you're starting to wonder if this is just how it's going to be now. No, it doesn't have to be that way. Here's the truth. It's not your fault. but it is your responsibility to fix this. And the longer you ignore the signals that your body is sending, the more dysregulated your metabolism and hormones actually become. And the more this can affect your marriage. And so this is really important to get on this right away. The more you push yourself through the fatigue, the more you're depleting your hormones. And the longer you delay getting the right support, the harder it's going to become to break this cycle. So imagine instead that in a few weeks from now, you actually are waking up with natural energy and a clear mind. You're releasing the weight without strict dieting or obsession. You're understanding your hormonal patterns so you can plan your life around your energy. That's so amazing, right? When you can do that. Finally, having a strategy of what to eat, when to fast, what workouts to do, even, around your cycle, the best times to work out with different types of workouts during your cycle, feeling aligned, physically empowered, and emotionally grounded. And because you're feeling better, your marriage is improving day by day and your libido returns. Okay. So imagine this can happen in just a few weeks. Okay. And that's what my 6-week metabolic reset is designed to do. It's not another trendy diet or a do-it-yourself program. I'm there with you. This is your personalized roadmap to help you reset your metabolism, restore your hormones, reconnect with your body, and reconnect with your spouse. Right? And so why this program works. This works because we get to the root of the cravings and the fatigue and the stubborn weight. We are looking at your hormonal balance and imbalance, and we are looking at that metabolic slowdown. We're getting to the root of that problem, and we're going to align your habits with your cycle, not against it. When you work with your cycle, things go so much easier. We break the starve and binge cycle with science-backed fasting, and we do this all in a grace-filled environment. No judgment. There's no shame. We're not going to push you into burnout. This is, at your pace here. We do this, okay? So because true transformation doesn't come from restriction. It really doesn't. And this is going to come from wisdom, consistency, and guidance, all of which are what you would get in, my program. So let's talk about what happens if you wait. If you don't do anything about this, you listen to this and you're not motivated at all. This, doesn't really help you. You're not wanting to change anything. Every week, you're just still going to be in survival mode. Your cravings are going to get stronger. Your energy dips lower. Your hormones drift further out of balance. Your confidence is going to take another hit. You and your spouse are going to drift farther apart because you're trying to avoid being intimate, right? The cost of waiting is more frustration, more fatigue, less peace in your body and mind. But when you choose to act, even if it's a small step, you shift the momentum in your favor and in the right direction. So you don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to say yes to support, yes to healing, yes to stewarding your health. All right. What you really want isn't just weight loss, though. What you do want is to feel good in your body again, right? You want to break the on again, off again cycle, to understand what works for your body and your season of life. Things change. What worked for you in your 20s is not going to work in your 40s. It's just not. And so you want to also get your libido back so you can have a healthy, intimate, and enjoyable marriage and relationship with your spouse. You both deserve that. You really do. You deserve that healthy marriage and happy marriage. You both do deserve that. And you want to honor God with your health without shame, obsession, or confusion. You want to be able to live with energy, confidence, clarity, again, or maybe even for the first time. Maybe you've never even felt this before. Maybe you've been sick for a really long time and you don't even know what it feels like to be feeling good in your own body. But that's what my program is going to help you do. And, I want to talk to you about the cost of waiting versus the cost of my 6-week program. So you're going to be, feeling worse every single week this goes on. Your mental health is going to suffer because of this. The way that you feel affects those around you and your relationships, unfortunately. And many of us have a hard time hiding how we feel. And so it is going to affect your relationships and your loved ones. You're going to have more doctor visits, more medications. It's just going to put a Band-Aid on the problem instead of getting to the root. Remember, all medications have side effects. So you want to avoid that as much as possible. I mean, yes, there's a time to go to the doctor. Yes, there's a time for medications, but let's look at all this other stuff first. Let's fix your lifestyle first. Let me help you do that. And, you know, because your health is like a rubber band. It's only going to stretch so far and it's eventually going to break. And when is that point going to be for you? You know, you don't want to take it that far. So let me share with you some testimonies from some of the women that have come through my program. I'll share with you how things can change for you in just 6 weeks. In just 6 weeks, you know, Joanna lost 12 pounds. In that short time, she learned how to metabolically switch by incorporating fasting and drastically reducing the things that kept her in the sugar burner system. She did amazing. I can't promise this for every single person that joins, but she worked really hard, guys.
Lady A was able to get a regular period back in just the first month of implementing the fasting and the eating according to her hormones after struggling for years with PCOS and not having a regular period. So in her very first month, she was able to get a regular period back. And so I was so happy for her making that progress. Erica worked really hard and she was making better food choices. She was gaining confidence. I saw this over the 6 weeks in Erica. She just would light up and she did amazing. She was sleeping better. She was making better food choices and she was gaining confidence in herself. And I did see her confidence increase and it was so great to watch that. And so I would love for you to actually be the next success story. And so let me get on here. Something is going on with my slides. Okay, so here are a couple of testimonials. Joanna, you heard from her about basically she was able to lose the 12 pounds. This is exactly what she said. I was paraphrasing before. So this is exactly what Joanna said. I recently, I'm going to make my screen bigger. I recently completed Amanda's 6-week Fast Like a Girl program and couldn't be happier with the results. I lost 12 pounds and, more importantly, have kept it off. Learning when to fast and when not to fast was key to reaching my weight loss goals and improving my overall health. I now have more energy and feel empowered by the knowledge I gained through Amanda's coaching. The supportive meetings kept me motivated throughout the program. I highly recommend this to anyone looking to improve their health and build sustainable, healthy habits. So that was what Joanna said, and that was so heartwarming. Deidre said, I have been so blessed to be a part of Amanda's Getting Started with Fast Like a Girl group. If you're new here and you're not sure what flag is, but it's Fast Like a Girl group, the content, support, and camaraderie are what make this group so special. I noticed improvement in my relationships and have made strides toward overall wellness and well-being. As a person who has struggled with eating issues in the past, Amanda really has helped us not only understand the specific protocols applied by the book, but also helped us navigate nuance and give perspective to our own unique situations. It was really calming to my nervous system and turned old diet mentality thinking on its head. She was very involved and constantly asking how to be of service to us. I'm considering joining the next group. I have barely scratched the surface. And so Deidre worked really hard too. She was making better food choices as well. She was feeling better. And I'm so happy to hear that she had positive success even in her relationships by going through this program. And that's what this is all about in this particular session of the Metabolic Reset program that I'm putting out this 6 weeks is getting your libido back. And so having this to improve relationships, that says a lot right there, right? So I highly encourage you to join my 6-week program. Your reset starts here. You can be the next success story. Don't wait for rock bottom. Don't wait until it's perfect timing. Start with what you have right now, and I'll meet you where you are. Let's reset your metabolism, your mindset, and your momentum. You can join my 6-week Metabolic Reset program now. We start on Monday. You can go grab the details at coachamandawright.com/reset, because the most powerful thing that you can do right now to begin your transformation is saying you're ready. That is where we can get started on this, okay? And so before you say no, ask yourself these questions. How are you struggling in these areas? If you're a Christian, how is your service for God going? Because of your health, because of your low energy, not feeling well. If you're a Christian, how's your service for God going? Are you able to do as much as you want for the Lord? Probably not. And so we really need to work on this. How's your marriage? If you're having low libido, you're struggling with that, there's probably some improvement that could happen in your marriage when you improve your low libido. How's your relationship with your children going? How is this affecting them? You know, I know when I was going through bouts of debilitating migraines, you know, my children were affected at that time because I would be on the couch, you know, with a debilitating migraine and there was not much I could do. So if you're in that place where you're not feeling good, it does affect those relationships around you. So let that transformation start, you know, so you can start feeling better and being more present with your children. How is it affecting your job? You know, how much better of an employee could you be if you felt better, if you felt more energy? How's your upkeep of your home? Are you able to keep up on things? How's your hobbies going? Do you even have the energy to have hobbies? What you'd like to do? You know, these are all areas that I beg of you to visit before you say no to this offer. Okay, I really want to help you wherever you're at. I created my 6-week Metabolic Reset program for women just like you, women who are navigating postpartum, perimenopause, menopause, PCOS, insulin resistance, all of these things, or you're just not feeling good. You're feeling out of rhythm with your body. This program is more than just about losing weight. It's helping you feel amazing, helping you restore your energy, rebalance your hormones, rebuild your confidence from the inside out so you can enjoy your marriage and your life to the very fullest. I believe with the right strategy, support, and spirit-led mindset, you can start feeling amazing again in your body, in your health, and in your purpose. So here's what I teach inside my program. First, I'm going to show you how to transition from sugar burner to fat burner. So your body burns fat naturally without relying on, you know, willpower and extreme diets. All of that is gone. You're never going to have to diet again with this plan, okay? You'll learn how to fast the right way for your current season of life without feeling deprived or overwhelmed. We're going to get you set up for success in this program. We're going to cover what to eat, what to avoid to support your hormones, because food can either heal you or it can hinder your progress, okay? I'm going to teach you how to eat, when to fast, what kind of moves to do to sync with your cycle so that you're no longer fighting against your body. You're working with your hormones. You're working with your body. And we'll talk about why calorie counting keeps so many women stuck and what to do instead for lasting, sustainable results. Plus, you'll get practical tips and resources like recipes, meal ideas, trackers, hormone education, biblical encouragement if you desire that, to help you stay motivated and consistent. We're going to be meeting on Zoom twice a week. Mondays, we're going to have the teaching session, and Fridays, we're going to have the follow-up session for how did it go, and you're going to have live coaching on both sessions. If Friday seems too much, like twice a week is too much, you could do the once a week and then just follow up in the Facebook group on the Friday and just watch the replays for everything if you're not able to actually come live. But we are very focused on having these sessions to help you with the most success, the best success. Now, this is not a pre-recorded program. I am live with you on Zoom 2 times a week. So, like I said, if 2 times is too much for you, just come on the Monday and then follow up in the group on the Friday session. That is totally acceptable and fine, and you will have total success doing that. So here's what you can expect to feel after spending 6 weeks with me. You're going to feel more energized and clear-headed throughout the day. You'll experience more stable moods and fewer cravings. You'll sleep better, and you'll start to see your libido return. You'll start releasing stubborn weight without obsessive tracking or guilt. You'll understand your body on a deeper level and know how to support it with wisdom and grace. And most importantly, you'll feel empowered, maybe for the first time, to continue in your own health journey. You're going to feel really empowered during this program. So I believe that God created your body with incredible wisdom and purpose. Your body can literally heal itself if you give it the right tools. God made our amazing, incredible bodies. He designed the fasting not only so that we could use that to get spiritual, help, get our prayers answered, but also so that we can heal our bodies. And if we just use His design and align that with our habits, When we approach health from a place of grace instead of punishment, the healing can begin. And when the healing is taking place, you're going to be able to release the weight if that's your goal. If you're ready to take control of your health, balance your hormones, feel amazing again, I would like to invite you to join me in my 6-week program, in the 6-week Metabolic Reset program. I would love to invite you. Let's reset your metabolism, your mindset, your momentum, one glass and one fast at a time. So go and visit coachamandawright.com/reset, or send me a message if you have questions, if you'd like to hop on a Zoom and ask more questions after you visit the Reset site there. You can get all the information, but if you still have more questions, I am open to meet with you. So you can book a call and let me know that you're interested in my 6-week program, and I'll meet with you and answer all of your questions. I'd be honored to walk this journey with you and help you along the way. Thank you so much for coming, and I will see you on the inside of either the Fast Like a Girl support group in our free support group that you're probably in if you're watching this live. Otherwise, I'll see you on the inside of our 6-week Metabolic Reset group coaching program. It's going to be amazing because when there's a group of ladies together all working on the same thing, you will have greater success because you're going to be able to encourage one another, have that camaraderie, and of course, I'll be there guiding you every step of the way. So thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to seeing you again really soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.